On this episode of Road Dirt, we ride the Rebel 1100 DCT, Honda's revolutionary automatic motorcycle. Stay tuned. This Road Dirt presentation is brought to you by Law Tigers, motorcycle lawyers. Find them at lawtigers.com. All right, we are with Colin Miller of Honda North America. And this is the 2021. Is it a 2021 or is it a 2021 Honda Rebel 1100 DCT? So, man, we're excited about this. We're going to have this for a little over a month or so. They're really putting their trust in us. Incredible. Colin, good to see you, man. Thanks for making the trip out here and delivering this bike. The thing that's curious to me about the Rebel 1100 is the fact that this is the largest Rebel Honda's ever produced. I remember 450s, the 500, other models like that. What was Honda's thinking in developing just a large, full-size cruiser, Rebel 1100, man? What was the thinking there?
So we've had, like you said, the Rebel, 250, 400 in the past, and then in recent years we've had the Rebel 300 and 500.
Yeah.
And really great for us, and been a great entry level, right? People getting into motorcycling, really kind of just learning to ride, but also, or even getting back into riding. Those provided a great platform. But we then saw that there was a gap, right? There was nothing. We had the larger displacement touring bikes and larger displacement cruisers, but there was nothing that filled the kind of in-between point.
Yeah.
And so we kind of came forward with the Rebel 1100 to fill that gap. Somebody who's maybe outgrown their smaller Rebel, but still like the look, like that cruiser, and but gives them something else, like a platform to start. And a lot of people like to customize, make it their own.
Oh yeah.
And so this really provided a good avenue to do that.
Definitely. What would you say is the target demographic of this? I know you guys have a target demographic for this. Who would you say really you're aiming this bike at? Who?
So it's really kind of like that person who's into motorcycling or just gotten into it, but they're looking to step up, right? You've got other other displacements that are the smaller displacement, but you're someone who's maybe in their mid 30s or something like that, 40s, is looking to either get back out on the road. Maybe their kids are old enough that they've moved on, but they're looking for something that's going to fill that void, but they have experience. Yeah. They're out there, they're familiar with motorcycling, so that fills that void of kind of something that provides good power, but at the same time is easy to use, easy to ride, and looks good.
I think also, as I think about it, there's an entire generation that grew up, unlike me, that grew up, without the experience of learning how to use a clutch. And I think the time has come. It's obviously it's been that way in automotive industry for years. I think the time has come in motorcycling to make for the brands to offer, bikes like this that are automatic or paddle shift that don't require, clutch learning, because it's no fault of the younger generation that our generation didn't teach them how to use a clutch.
Yeah.
So
we've seen that too, right? Where you've got, we still offer the Rebel in like a traditional clutch model as well, but also our DCT, because it does provide another avenue. Someone who's either not familiar or I want to enjoy the ride more, right? Something less to think about, something less to worry about, and it provides an avenue for that.
Yeah. Tell me a little bit about the DCT transmission here. What exactly? This is very unique, what you guys have developed here. I want to hear a little bit about this.
Yeah, so the dual clutch transmission is basically, if you think about it, it's a high performance transmission. So you've got the two clutches are kind of stacked on top of each other, and the format is much like a traditional motorcycle transmission. So it's not a centrifugal clutch or anything like that.
Oh, I see. Okay.
And it allows the bike to basically be in two gears at the same time. So the shift is actually controlled just by one of the clutches itself. So one clutch has first, third, and fifth gear, so the odd gears, and the other clutch is second, fourth, and sixth gear.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so it really provides, when you need to shift from one gear to the next, it's completely seamless. It shifts from one clutch to the other, and then behind the scenes, the transmission prepares for the next shift. So it's a really great piece of technology that allows a lot of kind of comfort, but at the same time, it's a really high performance part of it.
That's amazing. Looking forward to riding it, man. But so these are available now in Honda dealerships across the U.S. You can test ride one for yourself. And like me, you'll probably be grabbing for a clutch to begin with. But man, it's an amazing bike, amazing piece of technology you guys have developed. We look forward to riding this thing. So let's get to it. Well, Colin, take us through all the features right here that are accessible right on the handlebar.
So yeah, basically you have this is your main dash layout. Lot of good features integrated with this. So you've got RPMs cruising across the top, gear indicator, speedo, as well as you can see fuel. And then this is where the technology part of it really starts to come in. You've got your engine mode, so power, torque control, engine braking, and then also this is, when you start it, you'll see this category is your drive mode listed right here.
User.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so you can really customize a lot of the features on there, starting with your DCT. So you put it into drive right initially, and then from there, that allows you to basically either put it in a fully automatic mode or a complete manual mode. So at any time, you can have complete control via the paddle shifters. This is your upshift, and then your downshift is your thumb. So that really allows you complete control. I mean, it'll go off the rev limiter if you want. So you have complete control. But at the same time, the automatic mode allows kind of a carefree shifting. It'll shift on its own. And but if you needed to get around a car or drop a gear in the automatic mode, you could still use the paddle shifters as well. And the automatic allows you to change the shift points. So you can let it rev out further, you can have it shift really early. That part is really customizable through the actual user modes themselves. And
very cool.
And with that user mode too, you also have the ability to adjust power, torque control, engine braking. So if you wanted to set up the user mode, you've got 3 preset user modes: rain, standard, and sport. But the user itself is completely customizable. So you just push and hold the mode button and you'll see them start to flashing. So you can basically say, I want full power, medium torque control, and high engine braking. And then this D that has come up is where you control the DCT system. So the higher the bars, the further into the RPMs before it shifts. So the whole system is completely customizable, and it really provides a good user experience.
I'll say, man, I love the setup. That's phenomenal. Appreciate you, man.
Yeah, no problem.
So we're out in Athens at Cycle World of Athens with my friend Barry Brew. He's the sales manager out here at this great establishment. And man, you guys were really the ones that first put me on to the opportunity to ride this Rebel 1100 DCT, and I appreciate that. You guys have sold a few of these yourself. What are your impressions of the DCT yourself? What have been your impressions of it? They've got it on several models, apparently.
Yeah, they do. They have it on quite a few models, and they even have it on their adventure bikes, their full gull wing, the big touring bike, and this is the first time they've had it on a bike like this. It's kind of a cruiser style.
Yeah.
It to me, it's the first time I've seen an automatic that's been perfected. I know people have been trying to build automatics for years. And some have even done clutch designs where you don't have to use the clutch, but you still have to shift. But Honda's actually got a model here that's smooth, it's easy to ride, it's not jerky, which we've had other models, other brands that's tried to do it, and it was very jerky, almost dangerous in some respects. This is not. Yeah. This thing's just as smooth as it can be. And you can also set it into a manual setting, so you can, if you're like the Africa Twin, they put it on the Africa Twin too, and you can ride very aggressively.
Paddle shift with it.
Paddle shift with it. So you can do that on this also. And it does change it where you can some people prefer that. It's road DCT. They like the paddle shift instead of the full automatic.
I do actually.
Yeah. So I've heard
I'm
that
something.
from-
Yeah, my something to do with my left hand since there's no clutch on it.
And something else you said, they have engine braking.
Yeah,
It has
yeah.
other settings where you have traction control, and some of the other bikes you have ABS controls where you cut them on and off, or you can even change the settings, and it all kind of runs together with the DCT. It's a
does.
lot more than people realize. It's not just an automatic motorcycle. It's,
Right.
It's a whole unique experience. You kind of choose the way you want to ride on it.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah,
Dual clutch transmission.
that's right.
And really, where'd they develop that concept?
Well, it's, to my understanding, it's from the Formula race cars.
Oh, wow.
So they have the paddle shift in it, and
Yeah.
so it's actually came from that part of the industry, to my understanding. Quote me if I'm wrong. I think that's where it came from.
Yeah.
But yeah, that which makes it kind of unique. That Honda's always been one to develop something after everybody else has tried and do the better job of
Yeah.
it that I've seen them do.
Yeah.
They've done-
Innovative.
I think they've done it to this one for sure.
I've really been impressed with how it handles. I mean, Colin described it as you're in first and second at the same. It's in 2 gears at the same time, first and second, and then in second and third, and then in third and fourth. It engages one while one freewheels, I guess, or something like that. And man, it's just crazy smooth. It really has been. And I love just how customizable all the settings are on it as well. Power delivery at the throttle is customizable. Traction control, engine braking is customizable on it, as well as how high it shifts in the rev range. So been pretty remarkable. So
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing how you like it after you've rode it a while.
yeah, we've got it. We've got it for like a month. So we're gonna
that's
we're gonna
awesome.
get to really, dig deep into it for sure.
Yeah.
Appreciate you, Barry.
Well, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Enjoyed it.
I want to give you some rider impressions of the Honda Rebel 1100 DCT, this dual clutch transmission of it. Out on the road, it is, whether it's upshifting or downshifting, it is just butter smooth. Whether it's in manual, where you're paddle shifting with your finger and thumb on the left handlebar, or whether you've got it in drive mode and it's shifting itself, it's just so smooth, upshifting and downshifting. It's really amazing. One of the things, if you're a traditional motorcycle rider like most of us, that you have to kind of be careful of at the beginning, but then you get used to it, is the fact that there's no clutch, and because there's no clutch, that you're a clutch lever rather on the left handlebar, you're not releasing the clutch and rolling on the gas, taking off, or pulling in the clutch and shifting gears and then releasing the clutch and rolling back on. I mean, it is immediate throttle response, and initially it'll take off out from underneath you when you realize that you're not releasing a clutch and gently rolling on the gas. You roll on the gas, it takes off on you. And I took a little getting used to at the beginning for me, but once I did, I really like it, because as it shifts, whether you're manual paddle shifting it or whether it's shifting itself in drive, you don't have to roll off the gas at all. You stay on it and keep shifting. It shifts up and down as you stay on the gas. It matches revs. Great transmission. They really put a lot of R&D into this dual clutch transmission. It's seamless, upshifting. As you roll off the gas, it senses the revs and it upshifts accordingly. And man, it's a phenomenal transmission that they've developed. On a really well-handling bike, it's got good ground clearance. You can really dive it into corners well. Front suspension's adjustable, rear shocks are adjustable. Just, a great all-arounder. The only two downsides for me, I'm 5'8", about 155 pounds. I found that the handlebar reach kind of pulls me out over the tank a little bit. I'd prefer a set of handlebars, and they make them for it, that's a little more pullback, get me a little more upright. Plus, the only real downside to the bike is the fact that it's got a pretty small tank, right around 3 gallons or so. So you're basically going to get 125, 135 miles out of a tank before you got to refill. So that's a little limiting. But riding position, it's got a good rider triangle for people taller than 5'8". The foot pegs are right underneath you like sitting in a chair. So it's a real comfortable riding position that way. And engine guards on both sides so you don't burn your boot or your pant leg or your leg on either side. So well sorted, well thought out. They've done a great job with this bike. And
so there you have it, the 2021 Honda Rebel 1100 DCT, dual clutch transmission. We've had this thing for about a month. I've ridden the crap out of it and had a great time. It really is a pretty remarkable motorcycle, wouldn't you say, Phil?
I would fully agree, Rob. It's been a lot of fun, and for either from beginners up to an intermediate rider, I think that they would really enjoy the bike. It's simple, the transmission is great, and you got a ton of options as far as the software is concerned. I've enjoyed it, even being the gorilla that I am. It's been a lot of fun, very quick and so sweet in the turns, man. It just turns, carves, easy to throw your leg onto the side and just go and just dive into a turn, and it takes it right out of you. The transmission does take a little getting used to with slow turns. With U-turns where you're used to using that friction zone in your clutch, you know.
Right.
That was a little tricky for me. Of course, I'm used to a heavier bike, but it certainly was easy to just stop and just kind of roll it back and forth a little bit for me. But it's been a lot of fun. It really has been. I've enjoyed having it in the garage and taking it out and just running it through its paces. It's been a blast.
I think for me, two words that come to mind, I think of versatility and customizability, if that's a word. It's customizable because of the different settings and everything. It's real easy to scroll through and set how you like to ride on it, and very customizable and very easy to ride, very easy to learn on. I think it's a bike that's really tailored well for new riders, returning riders, younger riders, that generation that grew up, that our generation didn't teach them how to clutch.
Sure, exactly.
Because it was our generation that kind of went automatic in automobiles and everything. So, it's a great bike to just get on, turn the key on, and just throttle out and go without having to learn the friction zone and balancing between, clutch and throttle, things like that. So,
or gear shift. No gear shift to get your foot hung on either.
Yeah. Although if you want a gear shift, you've got paddle shifters on it, which I enjoyed as well. So very versatile, very customizable motorcycle. And the question is it an idea whose time has actually finally come in motorcycling?
I think so, Joe.
We think it has.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think it has too.
It's for the next generation to attract the next rider in that does know how to run a clutch in a gear shifter. I think they're going in the right direction, and it's still fossil fuel powered.
That's right. So yeah, that's for sure. So, well, this is Rob and Phil with Road Dirt. If you want to check out the Honda Rebel 1100 DCT, you can check them out on their website, Honda Motorsports, and you can check out all the specs and everything on it, as well as what we'll include with our article on it on roaddirt.tv. You can check us out there with photos and specs and our riding impressions in a bit more detail. So this is Rob and Phil with Road Dirt. Till next time, ride life.